And we're back. Red Press. Now, last week Liverpool put 6 past Spurs. Tonight they put 5 past West Ham. West Ham United 0, Liverpool 5. Has a great ring to it. So let's have a look at 3 things that we saw from tonight's match. Number 1, I think you've got to start with Mo Salah. Mo Salah is in the form of his career, in my opinion. Now, we all remember when he first came to Liverpool, that electric first season, scoring goals for fun, absolutely dynamic, such a revelation, and surpassed all the expectations that everyone had about him when he signed for Liverpool. I think that's fair to say. What we're seeing now, what is it, 7, 8 seasons later, is a player that is even better than that first season. We're seeing a more well-rounded player. We're seeing a player who's enjoying his football. So a player who's 32, still putting in shifts, still coming up with these big, decisive moments. And what I love seeing about Mo Salah this season is he's still getting the goals. He still wants to score goals, but he's bringing in players around him. He's so much more of a team player. And we can see that by the sheer amount of assists that he's got. Got some more tonight. Could have had even more. I love this version of Mo Salah, and tonight was a kind of the perfect example of what he's been doing all season. Goals, assists, really terrifying the opposition. West Ham put 2 players out there on him for a certain amount of time during the game. They figured out that wasn't really working, because obviously when you put players on Mo Salah, it gives more space to Curtis Jones, who I thought was excellent tonight, more space to Cody Gakpo, more space to Luis Diaz, etc. And they just couldn't handle him, whether they had 1 player on, 2 players on, whatever they were doing. They just couldn't handle him. He was in such a confident mood, really enjoying his football tonight. And I think we all love seeing Mo Salah play with a smile on his face. Sign him up. Do whatever it takes. He's a mere matter of days, hours before he can sign a pre-contract with a foreign club. We all want to see him play, not just because of what he's done in the past, and he's a certified Liverpool legend, but what he's doing right now. Because right now, Mo Salah is the best player in the Premier League, and he's probably the best player in Europe. No one else is doing it right now. He can do it for years to come. Sign him up. Okay, next thing to look at is lucky Liverpool. Now, this is a thing that a lot of people, a lot of fans of rival clubs have been saying about Liverpool this season, and that we've had some kind of luck with the way the fixture list has panned out, the way where a game got postponed because of the weather, and the way that we've been lucky with our own injuries or lack of, or how they perceive it, or how opposition players have been injured at certain times. But it's all rubbish, isn't it? It's all rubbish, because we've seen tonight that Liverpool, you've got to make your own luck, and Liverpool did that tonight. Now, we got a little bit lucky with the way the ball bounces at times. We saw that with Luis Diaz's goal. We saw that with Cody Gakpo's goal. I mean, Diaz well and truly makes his own luck there because of how positive he is, how aggressive he is, how much he wants to play the game on the front foot and take the fight to the opposition. He has a go outside the area. It doesn't work. Maybe it wasn't the brightest thing to do. But as I say, he makes his own luck and gets the ball with the deflection, arrives in a perfect space, and he takes his chance first time, scores the goal. Same with Mo Salah for the Cody Gakpo goal. It's down to desire. He's makes the brilliant decision early on to leave the ball, knowing he's in an offside position. But when he does get the ball back, it's a little bit of skill and a lot of desire to make sure he wins the ball. And he wants it more than anybody else at that point. And the ball rolls through to Cody Gakpo, who's not going to miss from that. It's all about making your own luck and taking those chances when you get them. If Liverpool's rivals out there aren't able to do that at this point, then that's down to them. It's not down to Liverpool, really. The final thing maybe we should talk about is the squad rotation that we saw within the game. Now, the game was won, 60 minutes in. The game was played out at half pace from that point onwards. It was played at a cancer. It looked like an exhibition game at times. But it was a great thing to see Liverpool making even more changes earlier on in the game, as we saw Endo coming on. He got a good half an hour there, which I thought he was really good, actually. he wasn't just playing maybe his normal game. He was trying to do some of the things that Gravenberch does in terms of trying to move the ball forward and get the ball, bring others into play, get the ball forward quickly instead of maybe taking an extra beat on the ball. So I thought he was really good. We also saw Simic has come on there. Always good to see him there. Always lots of energy, no mistakes, which is good. And we saw Liverpool just trying to get some minutes into some of the other players. Harvey Elliott, another one. He got a good amount of time as number 10. Didn't really see too much of him because the momentum had kind of been lost from the game at that point. The game was won. Liverpool trying to control that final outcome without exerting themselves too much, which is probably the right thing to do. As much as we all want to see more goals at that point, we want to see a massive scoreline, even though it kind of was. You want to see Liverpool get through the game without getting any more injuries, which we did get in the first half with Joe Gomez looking like he maybe felt something in his hamstring. Hopefully it's just something that he felt, and hopefully it's a bit more of a precaution than what it could possibly be, because in terms of defenders, we've got Conor Bradley out and we've got Ibrahim Konate out, of course, and we could do without losing another player at this point. So fingers crossed for Joe Gomez, because you feel like he's just getting into his rhythm there as a centre-back. But yeah, so it was good to see Slot trying to, as I say, manage minutes within the game. Usually it's done a little bit later. It was good to see the game was won at 60 minutes. Pretty much, and then he's making the changes there early doors. Obviously, that also meant that Gravenberch and Gakpo went off at that point, meaning they weren't picking up a yellow card, meaning that they are eligible to play against Manchester United on Sunday. So yeah, more of that really. We need that, because the last thing we need to see is the fatigue kind of kicking in, or as players dropping like flies. We've been really good at this point in time in keeping players fresh for the most part. There's only been certain moments over Christmas when those energy levels have dropped. And moving into January now, they've navigated that Christmas period, that December period, which I thought was going to be really tricky at times. They've done it, and they've still got a considerable lead at the top of the table, which is unbelievable. They're in such a good position. Slot is doing such an amazing job. So what's next? Well, it's Manchester United and then the FA Cup. So let's just see what happens. Hopefully in the next few days we might get some positive news regarding some contracts. I'd like to see all three of them sign. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'd like to see all three of them stay at Liverpool. Whatever you think, leave some comments down below. Let us know what your opinion was of the 5-0 win today at West Ham, what you think of the contract situation, all this kind of stuff. Until next time, up the Reds.